Welcome. We are here with Jed Stout. And Jed, you own or operate, or this is your family's business?
It is, yeah. I'm my dad and I are the owners, and I'm the manager. He's mostly retired. He comes in a little, so I kind of run it these days.
How long have you guys been in business?
It's a kind of a complicated story, but technically, my family bought it in '63.
Wow.
That's when my grandpa and his brother bought in, but it started in the early 1900s. A guy named Petty had a Petty Mercantile, which later sold to Graff's Mercantile. A lot of people remember Graff's. Old Timers in Hurricane. It was on the corner down on State and Main. We were part of that. And in '63, Grandpa and his brother bought just the furniture and hardware section out. Later sold off the hardware to someone else, and later sold off a carpet branch to someone else. And it's just, we're kind of tied to all of the old businesses in town. It's like a family tree. It's very intertwined. So we're in some ways 100 years old.
Wow.
In other ways, like I say, my family's been in it for a long time now.
That is incredible. I had no idea that, I knew you guys have been here for a long time and there was some kind of history. I had no idea. We're talking 100 years.
Yeah, so my son works for me here. His great-great-grandmother was the first Stout to work here.
Wow.
So my son's a 5th generation Stout working in here. So it goes back a ways.
That's incredible, man. Talk about a family dynasty.
Yeah, it's cool, nobody's ever gotten super rich off of it, but all of our kids have had shoes and a meal in their belly for generations, so We're grateful for that.
Well, I'm going around and I'm talking to business owners and people about their mindsets, because, who better to speak to than someone who has built something from the ground up and has spent a lot of their time working towards a goal and achieving the goal than a business owner, and someone like yourself. Because as a lot of people know, business owners, they don't get the opportunity to work a normal 8 to 5 schedule.
Yeah.
They're always on.
Yeah.
What's your mindset?
Well, I'm glad you're asking about those kinds of things, because I think mindset is probably the key question to be asked, and maybe we don't ask that enough. I guess the first part of my mindset, I would say, would be gratitude, because, and I'm reminded by that, by your leading questions, how did the business start? I have to say, well, being grateful for a dad who taught me how to run a business, who taught me to be careful with money and not squander, and to be generous with money, and how to balance those things. So having one mentor in your life, for me, Dad would be the main one. Just mind-blowingly important. So to have gratitude for those that are a little wiser than ourselves and soaking some of that in, to me, it maybe is the main reason I've been able to learn, just because that keeps me, where once in a while I'm just humbled enough to be willing to learn. You can't look in a camera and say, I'm a humble man. Because you've negated the fact of humility, just like you say. Right. And I battle with ego back and forth like all the humans do, and trying to tame it and then watching it spin out of control.
Yeah.
That's a very human thing, and I'm one of those millions of humans. But in the moments when I step into gratitude for wisdom that's beyond mine, those are the moments that I'm in a place where I'm humble enough to learn something, and those have been the most important moments in my life. The moments when I think I'm the one with the wisdom, learning stops.
Yes, yes.
Nothing, and I've had plenty of both moments.
Yeah. I love that answer. I'm always myself talking about gratitude. It's such a powerful tool. What gets you going in the morning? What makes you get out of bed? Obviously, this is a passion of you and your family, but you personally, what gets you going? What gets you going in the morning?
For me, the most important thing gets me going starting my day would be family. Waking up and knowing I've got people I love, and it extends beyond family into friends. The people I work with at this store are my friends. Yeah. I don't work with people that I dislike, and that's really fortunate. I'm lucky to work with good people. And so when I wake up, it's like I get to wake up and see a woman I'm deeply in love with, and kids that are far better people than I was at their age, and then to come to work and so that, I guess, family gets me out of bed. My coworkers and my customers are the people that get me here to the store, because I work with a lot of young men here.
Yeah.
I need strong young people to lift things, and that tends to average the guys who apply for that job are 20-year-old boys.
Right.
I shouldn't call them boys; they're men.
Yeah.
And they're just delightful people to be around. They are excited about life. They're learning. They're strong. They want to be stronger. They're smart, and they want to be smarter. They're fun to work with. I've also got my mom and dad work here. Obviously, they're awesome. Anyone in town that knows them. My son Sam that sells here is fun, and then there's a lady named Karen Lee that's worked with me for years. That's more like a sister than anything, and so her wisdom keeps a lot of the other employees here. Just being a delightful person who's wise. So people, I guess that was a long answer for the answer.
That's
What
good.
gets me up? I guess people, family, friends, coworkers, customers.
I love that.
So many customers you just make good friends with. I know you're like that at your business. Like your customers are your family.
Yes.
I've heard you use that word.
Yes.
And that's very cool. I think that's it.
I couldn't agree more. And you said something that really struck me. I think is interesting. You said the young people are super fun.
Oh yeah.
I heard someone at an advanced age say that they specifically hang out with young people because it makes them young.
I think so.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
I think so, yeah.
At least it makes me feel that way a little more.
Right.
I think there's got to be something about being with that young energy that heals your body just a little, and keeps your mind a little more flexible.
Right.
I don't understand the brain of an 18-year-old boy or girl, but when I give them a few minutes of my time and I listen, I understand them a little better, and maybe that makes me a little more like them. Which is good.
That's a good thing.
Because they're good people. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, not only have you guys been in business for 100 years, and your family's had it since the 60s, you have a family legacy that you're passing down. I mean, that's always been something that I've really wanted to do myself, is pass a legacy on to my children. You get to do that.
Yeah, that's an honor. It's scary at times, because when I was first taking over the business, my grandfather was a sage. He was brilliant. His brother was brilliant. My dad, I already told you, is everybody in this town. He's their hero when it comes to just wisdom and generosity. And so taking over the furniture store after those guys is scary.
Yeah.
And I kept reading, the third generation's always the one who puts it out of business. I heard that my whole life.
No.
And I thought, oh no. I've survived it for a couple of decades now. I got forced into it younger than I planned because my dad got very sick and almost passed away. It's been probably almost 20 years now. So I was way too young to run a furniture store when I took over. But my mom was able to help, and my dad, for a while, hardly could help because he was just down and out.
Yeah.
But I've survived so far, and then, I really hope one of my kids wants to do it, but I also at the same time don't want to pressure them. That if they want to go be a doctor or a martial arts instructor or a teacher and whatever, I'm super proud of whatever they do.
Right, of course.
So there's an odd kind of a pressure in a family business that's passed this way where maybe my kids feel a pressure. I don't want them to feel that, but if one of them wants to run this, then I'd be delighted. If they don't, it'll become, maybe it'll be Cain Home Furnishings and your boy takes over. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, let me ask you this. Somebody's just getting started.
Yeah.
They're a young person. They're trying to figure out their lives. As you know, they're trying to figure out who they are. They're thinking about getting into business. what advice would you give them?
I think, yeah, if I was talking to that age group we're talking about, someone in their late teens, early 20s, you know, it could be someone our age wanting to start. It doesn't matter what age, but I would say go to work first for someone wiser than yourself. Which, if you're brand new in business, that's most business people.
Yeah.
Maybe. But look for the wisest one you can find that's also got other traits you admire. A likable business owner who's kind but runs a tight ship and a good business, and work for that guy for a couple of years. Find some lady or some man in town that'll let you learn from them. Go learn from them for a minute. It doesn't need to be a decade, but a year or two under a great mentor. You know, like in this family business, that's kind of built in for me.
Right.
And that's what I would suggest to someone not coming from a family business. You still get the chance to learn from mentors, whether you've got a mom or a dad in it or not. And that's what I would recommend. Soak in that wisdom and then just jump in. It's scary, and you see people fail their first business, and it's totally okay. That's 100% okay to fail at 1 or 2 or 5. Don't quit. You know that every pitch you don't swing at is a 0 chance of being a home run.
Yeah.
You just gotta swing it. You gotta swing for the fence. And eventually the people that keep trying, they tend to get there.
Right.
The people who sit on the couch are guaranteed to not get there. And, I guess that's the short version of advice I'd give to a young person.
Excellent. That's great advice. I mean, oftentimes I'll tell my students to model what you want to be. Find someone who's doing what you're doing and model it. You know, so that's excellent advice. Well, how can we find the store? I mean, obviously, if they're riding through Hurricane, Utah, they're gonna see it. It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
You know, but how can other people find your store?
Yeah, you can go on the website, stouthome.com is a quick way to see us online. But if you're coming to Hurricane, we're easy to spot. We're in the parking lot with the Wendy's restaurant and right on State Street. We love meeting new customers, so we're glad for anyone to come in and check us out.
And you sell everything from, it looks like couches, lamps, dressers, beds.
Yeah, appliances is a big thing these days. Yeah, most things that go in your home, we've got them here.
Okay. Well, if you're looking for a good deal and you're looking for the best folks in town that sell home furnishings, you got to come to Stout.